Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. In this video we're going to go over the Venus. So Venus is an ethereal, a royal and celestial it seems, and an enchanter. So enchanter is not really something to look forward to because as we know enchanters are the weakest synergy, or rather rune synergy. By far they're the least played and the least reliable synergy to play around. So the only synergy that matters in here is her ethereal synergy, but ethereals often fit a lot of teams irrelevant of ethereals. So let's see and what does she bring to the table and whether she can fit many teams or just a single team. So her ultimate Floral Barrage deals magic damage to all enemies. A nice skill, magic damage to all enemies, is always nice to have, as well as her active skill is also AoE, so magic damage to all enemies. The multiplier is probably going to be quite low because her class is a support, so we don't have to expect a lot of damage from her, but she hits all enemies, which is already nice, because her main skill is stealing shields and holy shields. Venus steals shield and holy shield from targets after dealing damage. At 8 stars this effect applies to all allies, so even at 6 stars she can bring a steal of holy shields to the table, so she can be usable at just 6 stars, but at 8 stars sharing this effect to teammates makes her far more reliable. The issue and the question about this skill is whether she actually has to deal damage or just hit the target, because it says after dealing damage, and if she, for example, misses the target or gets blocked by the holy shield, that technically doesn't deal damage, so she might not even steal it this way. So it's a bit tricky and iffy skill to have, especially if it's not coded correctly. If it works at just her skill activation, irrelevant of the miss, irrelevant of the sanctuary proc or ape block, or basically anything that doesn't allow the damage to happen, and she still manages to steal the shields and holy shields, this skill will be great and more reliable. You will want to pair her with someone like Behemoth or Gaia to increase the speed, so you can go faster and steal the enemy holy shields before they take action and therefore have the advantage of damaging them. If this is not coded correctly and she doesn't steal shields and holy shields upon missing or getting blocked by sanctuary or ape, this skill will not be really good and really reliable, because we after all have Odin to remove the holy shields. We have the Frostclaw artifact, we have a lot of ways now to remove holy shield, so this skill is not something that brings a lot to the table if it's not coded correctly to work on misses, sanctuary blocks, ape blocks, etc. The second skill is the Undying Romance, so allies receive healing equal to 50% and to 100% of the crit damage they deal. So this already exists, Karnak actually already does have this. So as you can see, when Karnak is deployed and his ally lands a critical hit, there is a 100% chance to heal the entire team, providing healing equal to his attack. So this healing is scaling off based Karnak's attack, whereas the Venus heal is going to be scaling from the crit damage they deal, but it's always enough to heal the team fully, so the healing scaling doesn't matter, it's only the part that they both heal. So the healing part is really nice, especially because going to her ult first now, excess healing is converted into attack and defense up to 50% rate. When allies shield breaks on or expires, they have a 100% chance to trigger their ultimate with a damage multiplier up to 300%. So this is insane ult force, but the issue is it requires 8 stars, so not really free to play player friendly hero. She might be expensive, but excess healing is always good because everything basically brings excess healing to the team. For example, if we take a look at the Deviant synergy, so it applies the leech rate, so leech rate can be converted into excess healing. You can get excess healing also from the Knight's Edge. So there's a lot of ways to proc it, and it will be really strong because if you remember in the past seasons we had hunters that converted the heals into flat stats, although this is not going to be flat stats, so it might be a bit trickier to get it upscaling, but if it's coded to be at the end of the formula, it's going to be absolutely broken. Issue is if the excess healing is going to be coded correctly and whether the attack and defense conversion is going to be coded, although I'm going to assume it's going to be coded same as Ophelia and same as the Diana, so it will be good in theory. This is amazing. When allies shield breaks or expires, they have 100% to trigger the ultimate. This is also one of the broken old forces, because Ethereals have insane amounts of shields, especially with Amaterasu in the team. This could also bring Katrina in a way to revive her, because she does shield upon crits. And we also have a lot of ethereal based relics that also bring shield, especially the newest one that I reviewed that was pretty good at 2 stars. So really good skill. The shields do expire a lot. We can also add Audrey or Alice or twins into the team. So a lot of flexibility in this, and have our Pandora or any other ethereal hero do insane amounts of actions. I don't think this is going to be as close as the amounts of actions that the Eve is going to bring, but it's still an additional action, and that's all we care about, because most of the Rift Odyssey bosses are reliant on multiple actions, so this is going to be already great, and the scaling from the excess healing is going to be too broken, assuming it's coded better than the previous hunters. So apart Karnak healing our team on the crits from the allies and the Venus as well, we also have heroes that also boost the stats gained from the heals, like Yingzheng. If you recall, his old force says the stats, attack, defense and HP, which brings the Venus gained by allies through healing conversions have their acquisition limit increased by additional 60% through the entire battle. So this could also amplify the healing conversion of the Venus. So Yingzheng might also be a good fit for the Ethereals if this comes true, but it's very low likely. Another hero that can overheal a lot is Catherine. So Catherine, not a lot of players use her, but she also benefits from the healing. So when Catherine receives healing, she will also heal all allies for 50% HP. 8% of the excess healing will be converted to attack. The total conversion amount cannot exceed of 200% of her own attack. So she also is a hero that overheals. Now the question is whether someone like Seraphina could overheal the allies into the oblivion and pretty much increase the HP of their, increase the stats of them by a lot. As for the shield break, so we have Amaterasu that increases the team's crit damage, and on top of that, when Amaterasu lands a critical hit, she applies shield to all allies. And then we have Katrina, and the way that Katrina works is when after an ally lands a critical hit, Katrina applies shield effect equal to 50% of her own attack to all allies. This is a low shield, low scaling shield. It means it will break, so all allies will cast their ultimates after it breaks. So quite potential comeback for Katrina, although I doubt it because we have Amaterasu after all. So Venus is a very weird hero in my opinion. I do think she has insane potential, but I also do believe that she's going to be tricky to use because of the way that she is coded. There are also other ways to heal your team, such as the passive bonus from the Mystifiers. As you can see right here, the Mystifiers will heal initially at the start of the battle from their own passive, so that also could work well with Venus. Dooms also do the same, but they have to take the damage for it to happen, although this time the healing didn't happen. I guess it got countered by something. Oh, okay, never mind, it actually did just now, so I just missed it. So yeah, the ally team restores 25% of their max HP every round, so we have yet to see how the interaction will go about it. So leech rate will help the teams get the overheal effect. It won't initially convert the healing into excess if it still heals your team, but it can cause teams to get overhealed. So Night Sage, Catherine passive, and something like Seraphina could overheal the allies. And then we have Karnak and Venus healing the Ethereal, so it all depends where she will be played and how she will be coded. But as of right now, I do believe that she's quite a big potential hero and she could fit Rift Odyssey, because as I said, we had the Flat Hunters before. The Flat Hunters were absolutely game breaking, they were too strong, and she's a reincarnation of those flat buffs, but it's not flat, it's percentage, and it's better in a way, especially if the fight goes long. She also gives the actions upon shield break, so yeah, overall a strong potential hero, but I'm not liking the Holy Shields and Shield Steal effect because it's a tricky coding, it's a tricky wording, and yeah. Her rune effect is increase reflect rate of all allies by 50 to 100%. This is a typo. I do believe it's the crit rate or crit damage of that should be here, because the reflect is confirmed to be a typo. but they didn't send me a new one, so I'm just assuming it's something to do with crit. And then increase defense and max HP of all allies by 20% after an ally takes action, stacking up to 100%. So she doesn't increase the defense, so she doesn't increase the attack, but she does increase the sustain of the team, and she will be increasing the attack through overheals. So yeah, overall a strong potential for this hero, a very strong and potentially game-changing and game-breaking hero, but I do believe that Venus is one of those heroes that do require testing. It can be only in theory, unlike Eve. I can already see being game-changing and broken, but for Venus I would have to test how the healing conversion works. So if played in Ethereals, you can use Karnak and Venus, and that's already enough for the overheals in most cases, and then fit the 3 Monarchs so you don't get the one tap. Someone like Elisha, Arcane Bell, and the one more Monarch, maybe a Fade hero, it doesn't really matter. The team is already strong enough because it will be 7 Ethereals, so yeah, overall a strong hero, especially if you get her to 9 stars, so we have to test her. But yeah, as of right now I'm more leaning towards Eve than Venus, and the next hero I'm going to review is going to be Babylon, which seems one of the stronger heroes as well. Overall, all 3 heroes seem really good on paper, and I'm really excited to try them. And yeah, that's it. See you guys in the next one.